Because everything he, General Langley said is a lie, and it's really shameful to see an adult lie. To see an adult, a general officer of a great army, lie, that's very serious. First, he talked about gold from Burkina Faso supposedly being used for our own protection, but first of all, that gold belongs to Burkina Faso. It's not his gold, that's the first point. What business is it of his? None. It's Burkina's gold. It's none of his business. Second point, he's lying. Because Burkina never had any gold reserves until we arrived. We are the ones who started setting aside gold in the treasury of Burkina Faso. Before us, there wasn't a single gram of gold in reserve.
Africa Connect News is your #1 news. We use credible sources, official statements, and verified online content for educational, analytical, and informational use. Accuracy is not guaranteed. Viewers should verify independently. We do not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our aim is to offer context-rich insights, amplify local voices, and support informed dialogue in Africa and beyond.
Anyway, we are free to build relationships with whomever we want. That's what independence is all about. So on that point, they can continue thinking whatever they like. We will go wherever we choose. As long as this partnership can be mutually beneficial to both parties, that's what matters. As for those remarks, as you said, we have protested through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's one thing, but I don't know what happened with this general. There is a problem here. And I wish that, if he was indeed sent here, he would at least do a mea culpa, that he would understand that this was not the right mission. If he was misled, he should say so publicly, or if he's called before the Senate, he should admit that he was wrong. And if it's malicious intent, then we will confront it properly. Because everything he said is a lie, and it's really shameful to see an adult lie. To see an adult, a general officer of a great army, lie, that's very serious. First, he talked about gold from Burkina Faso supposedly being used for our own protection, but first of all, that gold belongs to Burkina Faso. It's not his gold, that's the first point. What business is it of his? None. It's Burkina's gold. It's none of his business. Second point, he's lying. Because Burkina never had any gold reserves until we arrived. We are the ones who started setting aside gold in the treasury of Burkina Faso. Before us, there wasn't a single gram of gold in reserve. So he's a liar again. And another point, when he says we are using it to protect ourselves, well, we are free. If the people have decided that we should govern, we have a duty to protect ourselves. We are free to do that. What business is it of his? And the point that hurt me the most, not because he's a general or because he's American or whatever, but because he's black. And it really hurts to see a black person used to fight against another black person. And it didn't just start now, this has to stop. Look at Libya, even Libya's destruction involved using a black person. In American movies in the past, black people always played the bad roles, but we thought that was just in movies. Why should black people keep playing the bad roles? And I think that if he had this interview, he should look in the mirror, feel ashamed, come out and say, well, I was given a false report, I regret it. He should say that publicly. Because that's possible. It's possible he was given a false report, so let him come out and say it, because as you saw when I mentioned another neighbor. Again, like I said, among us black people, the Ivorian Minister of Defense went to Turkey to ask the Turkish Minister of Defense not to sell us arms. You see how painful it is when a black person behaves like that. It's really painful.
In
a strongly worded statement, the president of Burkina Faso has firmly rejected recent allegations made by a foreign military official, reportedly a general, regarding the country's management of its gold resources and the state's internal security measures. Speaking in defense of Burkina Faso's independence, the president emphasized that the nation is free to establish relationships with any partners it deems appropriate. That's what independence means, he stated. They can continue thinking what they want. We will go where we choose. Addressing claims that the government is misusing the country's gold reserves for its own protection, the president insisted that Burkina Faso's gold is sovereign property. It's not his gold, it's Burkina's gold, he said. It's none of his business. He further explained that prior to his administration, Burkina Faso did not have any gold reserves, and that his government has since initiated a policy of saving gold for the nation's treasury. The president also criticized the foreign general's remarks, calling them false and deeply troubling. It's very serious to see an adult, a senior military officer, lie, he said. He challenged the general to publicly clarify whether he had been misinformed or if his comments were made with malicious intent. If he was misled, he should say so publicly. If it was a false report, he should acknowledge that, the president stated. The statement took a particularly strong tone regarding the use of black officials to criticize other black nations, describing it as a recurring and painful pattern. It's very painful to see a black person being used to fight against another black person, he said, pointing to historical examples and likening it to roles often assigned to black actors in American films. This manipulation must stop, he added. Highlighting Burkina Faso's recent achievements, the president pointed to significant progress in health infrastructure, agriculture, employment, and the strengthening of the military. No other government has accomplished what we have, he said, citing investments in health centers, free plowing services for farmers, increased agricultural production, and a stronger, better-equipped army. Concluding his statement, the president reiterated Burkina Faso's commitment to development and sovereignty, while calling on those who made the allegations to publicly correct the record. This is a big lie, and it is regrettable, he concluded. We're following developments on the growing diplomatic tensions between the United States and Burkina Faso after reports emerged of a fiery exchange between U.S. Army General Michael Langley, commander of U.S. Africa Command, and Burkina Faso's transitional leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Sources close to the matter describe a heated confrontation that reportedly took place during a recent high-level meeting aimed at addressing security cooperation in West Africa. The friction reportedly stems from the U.S.'s concerns over Burkina Faso's increasing ties with Russia and the presence of Russian military advisors in the country. General Langley is said to have expressed Washington's unease over Burkina Faso's reliance on non-traditional partners for counterterrorism efforts, warning that it could undermine regional stability and the fight against extremist groups. Captain Traoré, who seized power in a coup in 2022, fired back by accusing the U.S. of failing to adequately support Burkina Faso's fight against terrorism, insisting that his government would work with any partner that respects the country's sovereignty. The diplomatic clash highlights the growing competition between global powers for influence in Africa. It also underscores Burkina Faso's increasingly defiant stance toward Western countries, as Traoré's government seeks to diversify its international partnerships amid a worsening security crisis at home. While no official statements have been released by either side, analysts warn that the tensions could complicate U.S. efforts to maintain counterterrorism cooperation in the region.
That's all for now on Africa Connect News. Thank you for staying informed with us. For more updates, context-rich insights, and authentic African perspectives, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Until next time, stay connected, stay informed, and above all, stay proudly African. This is Africa Connect News.